And we are live. Good evening, everyone. And if you're on the West Coast right now, Once Upon a Time is airing, but Joe and I, or R and
Jay.
just got to watch Once Upon a Time episode 20. Remember, this is episode 20, not 21, because Smash the Mirror was 2 hours, not 2 episodes. So this is our review of episode 20 of the show Mother.
Just had to rant, make sure that everyone is clear that this is episode 20.
Yes, facts have to be put on the table, Joe, because that is what good reviewers do. We lay the facts out, and then once the facts are laid out, then we discuss. So the flashback, I know you weren't a big fan of. I know a lot of things about the show that you're not a big fan of, and so you weren't a fan of it at all because it was core-based, right?
I think Cora was the low point of the show. So to see her back disappointed me. However, it fit the theme they were going for with this half of the season, with bringing back villains from the past with like Zelena. And I think they could have definitely gone more with that route. Hell, even smaller villains. Hell, throw Bo Peep back for maybe a couple, just to fit the theme that they were kind of going for this season, with bringing back some villains with Zelena and Cora. So, I thought that was not necessary, but it was kind of, I guess, for good to see that happen, because it definitely fits the theme. Effective. There we go. It's effective because it fits the theme. However, I thought it was done in poor execution.
I think the whole purpose of the flashback was to kind of show us again the differences between Regina as Evil Queen in story, and the final moments of the flashback were reflective of Regina's changes in the final moments of the episode. So I think it served a decent point for that purpose anyway, just to show us again more progression with the show's clearly favorite character.
Right, and just that juxtaposition with her being so selfish, and then in the flashback, and juxtaposing that with her being the opposite of selfish. She doesn't want Zelena around, but she's still doing the greater.
She's taking the high road.
Yeah, exactly. She's taking the high road with leaving Zelena be, and that's great. That shows right there in one scene the progression that this character is taking through the 4 seasons.
I kind of liked when she was not like snipey or snarky, but Lily is a little annoying, a lot annoying. And I liked when she was kind of teasing her at the bus stop, and then she was like, "All right, I'm just gonna cut her to the chase with a pun," and cut her hand.
Oh yeah.
I
didn't. I might not have noticed that. I don't remember. But
I just thought that. I thought that was like, all right, she's not evil, but she is effective. Like, she knows what she wants, and like she doesn't. I don't even think she really cares really. She's like, all right, I'm just gonna cut your hand, and take your blood because I need that.
Yeah, she doesn't tiptoe around it. Yeah, she's a great character. I think she's been everyone's favorite for quite some time, right?
Yeah. The only character on this show, and who I prefer over her, but she's gone now.
Yeah, it's R.I.P. Snow Queen.
R.I.P. Snow Queen and R.I.P. and well, also not dead, but long reign the Ice Queen. So I guess we discussed the flashback, and in essence, it was just kind of to show us the whole reversal of Regina's character. I know you thought Cora was low point of the show, but I think Barbara Hershey is actually a pretty good actress. So I liked having good talent on the show anyway. But that's just me. But the present day storybook I thought was kind of funny because it's like, in my opinion, I thought every character kind of did something except really for Emma. Like, because it felt like it was doing all the storylines pretty much justice that's been going on, except Henry, because Henry wasn't even here, or Belle.
Which is great, right? No Henry. I mean, this is why I wanted season 1. I was praying for Henry to go away, and
because I mean, he was the main focus with season 1 and with season 3 part 1, but then after that, he's really been pushed aside, like just kind of randomly there.
Yeah, which is great. Love it.
Yeah, easy day for Jared Gilmore on set, I would imagine, just having to sit there and not act or work or anything. So I thought it was funny when I can't speak. So Regina's dealing with Zelina's pregnancy, and that's like her biggest problem. And then we kind of talked about at the end of it, like she wants to keep Zelina alive because she was at first going to write her out of existence, and now she was like, nope, not going to do that. So now we still have. So now Regina's going to be an auntie to the Wicked Witch's baby, which is weird. And,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the show just has to extend the families in the weirdest ways possible. And do you think that Maleficent and Lily kind of resolved their problem? That was the only other thing that really happened.
Maleficent and who?
Her daughter, Lily.
Oh, probably, right? I mean, it seemed to have gone that way at the end.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, I mean, this show, I thought, I feel like the effects improved quite a bit in this season as opposed to the other ones. I thought the Lily's dragon actually looked kind of cool. But my point being is, it seemed like at first she wanted to kill them, and then she was with her mom, and she's like, just stay here a week and I'll show you stuff. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I liked Maleficent in this episode. She didn't do too much, but I really kind of called her a pushover, but I just liked her. I liked her character a bit.
I think we kind of called this, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the Frozen arc, when we heard that these were going to be the three villains, didn't we say one was going to die, one was going to turn good, and the other one was going to be like an anti-hero?
We did. We did call that. Maleficent being the anti-hero, Cruella being dead, and Ursula being the good guy, right? Or do we flip Maleficent and Ursula?
I don't know if we specified it, but I know that's what we came up with.
Oh no, we didn't specify it. I'm just categorizing it right now.
Oh, yeah, with how it went down, yeah. But we basically called that without specifying who and how.
Yeah.
We called that, right?
No, we totally. I mean, I would have to rewatch the review of Heroes and Villains, but I'm 99% sure that we said like it's going to change. We definitely said they were definitely going to kill one of them, and one of them was definitely going to revert to good.
Yeah.
We might have said one of them was going to be the real big bad.
Possibly, and that didn't
even happen.
Maleficent hasn't been a threat
at all. Ever.
Yeah,
she's actually really nice. It's weird. Like the fact that she's so nice makes her not.
Yeah, right. Because now I'm trying to think of when she was evil, and I'm thinking of her being nice.
She was only evil in that one flashback episode with when she poisoned Aurora or put Aurora to sleep, and she killed King Stefan's guards. That was about it.
Yeah, she's
not a villain in my. I really can't categorize her as a villain. I would definitely put her more as anti-hero than anything else.
So I guess the villain is Rumple. The main villain of this half is Rumple. And then I guess the new villain for the last couple episodes or whatever is couple hours. I don't remember what it is, but it's
the last two episodes. I don't know if he's I don't know if the author is supposed to be the villain. I think the author is supposed to be just like
the catalyst. The
catalyst that causes it, because from the preview, it looks like Mary Margaret takes the evil queen's form. If you saw it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, the next week's episode looks pretty decent too. You know what's funny is, you know how Jennifer Morrison is really the main character. It is the main character of the show, but it feels like it's really Regina, at least now anyway. Is how in this episode she was just pushed away, like she did nothing at all, except for forgive her parents, but that was like a line. Like she did nothing.
Which is good. I mean, I think a great change the show has made is, like we said, less Henry and less Emma. And more Regina.
Well, you know, do you remember back when we were reviewing one of the episodes of the Frozen arc, and Elsa was literally pushed to the side, and we're like, oh, she's just like the regular characters now. They don't even care about her anymore. She's just pushed off to the side, reading a book, or Elsa. So they're doing the same thing. That's pretty much the episode in a nutshell. Everyone, the characters all did stuff. Rumpelstiltskin, and at the end of the episode, I guess the big thing was Regina and the author teamed up for a moment, but because Regina didn't want to change anything, the author got pissed off at her, and he decided to take things into his own hand.
Yeah, he was bored. Yeah,
he was bored. Yeah, he liked excitement.
Yeah, that's
And,
exactly what that was. It was bored. So
yes.
he went back to Rumple.
Who, by the way, I didn't talk about him in my own little review list, but he actually looks like he's about to die.
Rumple, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting going
Ish.
forward. Yeah, ish, right?
Yes.
Interesting ish.
Well,
There's
he
a
said
G word there.
well, what did he say? He said an interesting line. He said, Regina said, but the Dark One can't die. And he went, you're right, but Rumpelstiltskin can, and you don't want to be around me when Rumpelstiltskin's dead. So maybe like it's gonna be like a new thing, like the character Rumpelstiltskin will be gone, and it'll be like kind of like a dark essence instead.
What do you mean?
The theory, it could be wrong, but Rumpelstiltskin said Rumpelstiltskin will die, but the Dark One won't. So that means like the power inside of him is a life form of itself.
Good observation, I guess, by hearing him say that. Because I don't.
It's he said he'll die, but his like the personality of him being the Dark One of Rumpelstiltskin will die. That's what will go. But
Right.
then like the like that personality is gone, and then it'll probably just only leave his evil half.
Well, the half that consumed him, right? I mean, if we're looking back at when he became the Dark One, it turned him into
Like the
something.
scaly thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it turned him into something different, right? Personality-wise, even you know, it can be argued that he was a coward before and everything, and this, took that to like a whole nother level. But I think just that feeling of that darkness and that power, I think that's what he was getting at. That it'll go to someone else. Someone else will become the Dark One, and then that will still be their fate. I don't think he meant that the darkness is necessarily a life form, but it's more of just a power that overtakes you.
Oh, I see. I kind of thought of it for a while that it was like a dark essence, that kind of. I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I think it was just I think he was just referencing the power will still be here. Rumpelstiltskin will die, but the Dark One, will be whoever is the next one, and they'll still be dark.
Right, overtakes on the mantle. Well, I don't know. And then he went we talked about him, and then the author said, Rumple gave him a book called Heroes and Villains, and then it starts off saying Once Upon a Time, and we get that preview. So it looks like the villains and heroes are going to switch sides.
We've said this before, this is the ultimate final season storyline, with all the villains getting the happy endings, the stories being switched, even Rumple being the main bad guy. This is all last season stuff right here, and especially with the author kind of being the new bad guy, or the new Callus, as we said.
Yeah.
How do you beat that? You can't beat the person who's literally writing the stories.
I'm going to guess that what will happen is, if he succeeds, which it looks like he will, in reversing everyone's story, that season 5 will be someone will have avoided the change and is going to try to change it back.
Oh, you think it's going to go that long?
Good.
Okay, I think differently. I think it's going to be over next week. I think it's going to be like we were talking about before the review. They seem to do these one episode storylines, or the night of whether they want to do 2 hours, 2 episodes, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. The night of the finale. They've done this with the season 3A finale. They did this with the 3B finale. They did this with the 4. No. Is this the third time?
The second. No.
3A,
3B, and 4A. Because they wrapped up the Snow Queen, they wrapped up the Witch, and they wrapped up Pan.
Okay, well, they kind of start these one episode stories and finish it. Emma and Hook go back in time, come back in the same night, right? Pan and Henry swap bodies, come back in the same night, right? Yeah. So they do these kind of after they've wrapped up their story, and just to kind of throw a curveball at you, just something interesting. I don't think it's going to be a whole season. I think it's going to be next week, and I think that's going to be the end of it.
I guess for that one to find out, wait and see.
Like they did with 3B, how 3B ended, and they come back, and there's pretty much no time for them to be back and everything, and then they get the reveal that Elsa will be in the next. That might be what happens next week. It might take up the entire episode, the last 3 minutes, everything gets turned back to normal. They reveal the next big villain for next season.
Right. I kind of hope they reveal another villain. But in my opinion, I don't think they can make the entrance as dramatic as the Elsa entrance.
However, what you have said in the past with the idea of gods being introduced seems kind of more likely than it did before this episode, especially with the author saying there's forces guiding us here and there's something greater out there. And they're kind of referencing, even more than they have in the past, the idea of these gods. And even though they're not saying gods,
they're saying forces.
They're tiptoeing around the subject matter. So, and they're saying forces, right? They are saying plural, and they're not saying a singular. They're saying a multitude of multiple forces. So multiple gods. So I
mean, it could go God direction. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I like Hercules, so if they went like the Hercules route, that would be okay. Like bringing in like the god of death, bringing Hades and whatnot, and making him the next big bad. I think that'd be good. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, they already did Poseidon, a god. One of the Ursulas a god. Yes, they have Poseidon who was like did nothing. But I don't know. I mean, the show. It looks like they have a lot to go with, but at the same time, it seems like the show could have been very much wrapped up in a nice, neat bow this season 2.
Yeah, we'll see next week, but I think it's just gonna wrap up.
Well, we'll find out, and we'll talk about we'll discuss the ending, and that is everything that R and J have for this review of Mother episode 21, and so we'll be back next week to review Operation Mongoose Part 1 and 2, so make sure to tune in for that. And subscribe to Agree, Disagree, and Other Robert, because those are our direct channels. So thank you all for watching, and we are out of here. Bye, guys.